One of the ways we can make the clone stamp tool more effective when we're trying to fix something. Now, I'm using an old photo, but obviously this would work on a new photo as well. But the main idea is we want to focus on either problems that are too light, like these little white specks, or problems that are too dark, like anywhere where there's a little dark speck. So the way we can make the clone stamp tool work a little better is to address those issues specifically. So if we want to address all the light problems, we change the blend mode to darken. And what that means is now the clone stamp tool will only really affect the areas that it can darken. So, for example, if I go here near this white little spot right here, and just Option or Alt click once to make my reference point, and then click on top of it, it blends in that much better because now it's really only really addressing the light pixels as opposed to the dark ones. And the opposite would happen if I'm trying to get rid of dark problems. I change it to lighten. Same idea. Option or Alt click nearby, and then click to clone over that area. Now, that's all very nice if in an ideal world we would only address all the white issues first and then go back and address the dark issues. But one of the realities is people like to zoom in like I am here and work in a specific area where obviously you're going to have light and dark problems and want to switch back and forth. So one of the ways we can effectively do that is using tool presets. Now, by the way, I didn't do it in this example to show you, but often what people do is they always also lower the opacity down just a little bit. So they're using lighten or darken mode with a slightly lower opacity. So here's how we could automate switching back and forth. I'm going to go to my tool preset menu for the clone stamp tool. I've already got it in lighten 89%, so I'm going to choose new tool preset, and I'm going to name it. It always wants to call it clone stamp tool with a big long name, but basically just call it clone lighten 89%, and OK. Then we'll go and change it to darken, and do the same thing. Create a tool preset for that. New tool preset, clone darken 89. Now you don't have to put the percent, but ultimately you may choose to create several different clone stamp tools with different percentages. Click OK. So what that means now is as soon as I click on one of the tool presets, it will switch back and forth for me, which is a pretty good start, but we can take this even a step further. Let's bring in our actions palette and see how we can automate this. I have my own folder or set of actions already, so I'm just going to create a new action, and I call it clone darken, and I'm going to give it a function key shortcut F1 and click the record button. And all we're going to do is go up to our tool preset and click on it to choose it, and it should show up down here, which it does. So we stop recording, then make a second action, which no surprise here, we'll call this one clone lighten. And as you can imagine, if you had a number of different clone presets, you could call it clone lighten 89, 75, whatever, if you have different percentages or even different brush sizes. So now I have put a function key for that. I click record and then go and choose on the clone lighten tool preset and stop recording. Now what this means, we move that out of the way. Now as I'm working and really focus my attention, I'm using the clone stamp tool. Watch up here when I do this, and I simply press F1 and it switches to darken. So I didn't have to move my position of my cursor at all. If I press F2, it goes to lighten. So again, watch up here. Don't watch my mouse. My mouse is over here near her mouth. I need to switch. I just press either F1 or F2. Now if you happen to use a Wacom tablet, it's also possible to program the buttons on the pen to use a pop-up menu to change it. So without even having to use the keyboard, you could do that as well. Now as you can imagine, we're using this with the clone stamp tool, but every tool has the ability to make tool presets, which you could then make an action and automate it just that much quicker. Pretty cool. Don't you just love it when we're able to take some technique and get really inside and really, really close up, because I love close-ups. I'm Dave Cross. We'll see you next time.